You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports. Well, I don't know if anybody's noticed on Sunday Night Football, there's been a very, very good piece to their broadcasting team that hasn't been present during, I believe, 3 games in the last 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks. And that person is Michele Tafoya. Everybody knows Michele Tafoya. As soon as you see her, you're like, oh, yeah, she's great. She does a great job on the sideline, interviewing big names. And she's been curiously missing from the NBC broadcast. Well, one of the podcasts I listen to a lot is Bill Simmons. Okay, he owns The Ringer, has turned The Ringer into a million upon million upon million dollar company. He I believe he sold it to Spotify or sold over to Spotify. Whatever it is, I mean, The Ringer's worth $200 or $300 million now. And so much so that he's able to hire guys like Ryan Russillo, who was one of the ESPN's biggest names. And, of course, him and Bill Simmons are pretty tight. Well, it's funny that I found this because I was listening to Simmons' podcast this morning. He does Guess the Lines for the NFL betting every week, plus they do a recap of the games. And one of the things he brought up was Michele Tafoya, and where was she? And then he dropped this little juicy conspiracy theory, and I was like, interesting, because I had forgot Matrix made a video about Michele Tafoya going on The View and making one thing clear. Number one, she's a conservative, you can tell. She was in the conservative seat on the show. And number two, she's been almost absent from Sunday Night Football ever since going on there. And she made some statements that certainly weren't controversial to us. Now to Whoopi Goldberg and those leftist lunatics on The View, yeah, they lost their ever-loving minds. Because Michele Tafoya made it clear she didn't feel any sympathy for Colin Kaepernick not getting another NFL job. And frankly, he was doing pretty good not being in the NFL. She brought up Nike and Netflix. And it just so happens, now NBC's claiming something else, but Bill Simmons threw it out there that, is she gone because of her appearance on The View? Has she been sidelined because of her take on The View? Bill Simmons isn't reflexively buying NBC's explanation for Michele Tafoya's 3-week absence from Sunday Night Football. An NBC spokesperson told The Post, Andrew Marchand, that Tafoya will be back next week. Quote, as we've done repeatedly, we're again giving our SNF announcers bye weeks in 2021, and we plan to do it well into the future, NBC said in a said of her lengthy absence. The host of the Bill Simmons podcast thought there might be something more than just standard time off. He said there's some good conspiracy stuff going on about this, Simmons said, because she hosted The View in the beginning of November. She was in the conservative seat. And then a couple of weeks later, all of a sudden, she's just on a bye, taking a break. Quote, it would be one thing if the show was on 52 weeks a year, but it's only on 17 weeks a year. Do you need 3 weeks off during a 17-week season? Question mark. Catherine Tappan has been filling in for Tafoya. Tafoya, 56, has been on at NBC since 2011. Previous to that, she did the sidelines, if everybody remembers, on ESPN Monday Night Football. During Tafoya's appearances on The View, she shared that she did not have much sympathy for Colin Kaepernick being out of football and goaded the audience to, quote, bring it on when they jeered her. Marchand pointed out that Tafoya did a few Sunday night games on the sidelines in between her View appearance and her apparent 3-week hiatus. Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth took a couple of days off a year. Mike Tirico and Drew Brees have filled in. Nevertheless, there has been some out there, like Simmons, who think she might be under some sort of shadow ban for agitating progressives. Simmons closed the point by saying if he was Tafoya, he would be leery of an understudy gaining much traction. And guys, you can go out there and watch that video where she was on The View talking about Kaepernick. He says, if I'm Tafoya, aren't you protecting your seat? Simmons asked. I don't want anybody guest sidelining reporting for me. What if they're better than me? Well, look, quick reminder to Bill Simmons. Nobody's really going to be better than Michele Tafoya. She's kind of the best in the business at what she does. So I don't know that I'd be too concerned about that. But Bill certainly raises a very valid and interesting point. Since going on The View and not dropping to her knees for Colin Kaepernick and towing the racial line, she's had quite a few absences all of a sudden. And the fact is, just because she showed up after the fact doesn't mean that NBC didn't get together and was like, maybe we should give her, some time away from the screen. Okay, maybe put a little distance between her View appearance and her appearance on our television, NFL, viewerships. It is, generally speaking, the highest rated NFL, at least weekly game every week, okay? It's their one that gets the most attention usually because of the production around it. And maybe, just maybe, NBC is shadow banning her for having a conservative viewpoint. The thing about it is, I'm not sure that would surprise me or anybody else that's actually subscribed to this channel. We've seen some kind of form of cancellation with a lot of people that didn't toe the progressive leftist media line. It is an interesting subject to at least look at. Keep in mind, if you watch Sunday Night Football, see if she comes back. See if there's any more stories out there. See if things start leaking out around Michele Tafoya. And see if NBC is trying to hide her or cancel her. We're going to keep a watch on this. It was a good point for Bill Simmons to have brought up. By the way, Bill's a progressive. That's interesting. But Bill's been known to have people on from all sides of the aisle, and he doesn't care about having a conversation with people that he doesn't necessarily agree with. That's supposed to be the way it was or used to be. Tell me what you think, black and white sports fans. Peace. I'm out. Till next.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.